doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I am well. So, is that your phone?
Sorry.
Okay, I just want to make sure it wasn't there. So, how's your day been so far?
So far, so good.
So far, so good?
So far, so good. Let me turn this off so it doesn't interrupt you.
Okay, you're fine. Alright, how was work today?
Long, but it was good.
It was good?
It was good.
So when we met this weekend, you talked about how the new job is more beneficial for you in regards to doing social outlets with your friends, having more time for your daughter, actually engage in something that you might be interested in as opposed to the other job that you had prior.
Right.
Okay. So, and I gave you some homework to come up with some goals that you want to try to engage in on your own. And I know it's a quick turnaround, but have you thought about any of your goals?
Yeah, well, school, like I said, school was one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once I go to school, I think I want to pledge.
Okay, you want to pledge.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's the idea about being a sorority?
Having a bond
Okay.
with somebody outside of your family.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be beneficial for me to help me grow, help me learn new things,
Mm-hmm.
be around people I've never been around.
Okay.
Community service, so it's not just for me, it'll help the community as well.
Right. So, having that bond outside your family, in your mind right now, because I'm not sure how familiar you are with sororities,
Mm-hmm.
what would that look like for you? Where would you be in your sorority? Have you thought about what sorority you would join?
Yeah, what I want, I can't disclose that. But
Right.
yes,
Right.
yes, I have thought about which sorority I would like to be a part of.
Okay.
And, I watch them closely and watch things that they do, like as far as, like I say, community service and
Mm-hmm.
helping out with children, like toy drives, those kind of things. Even down to, like, mentoring programs for helping other children,
Okay.
people with problems, those kind of. I think, for me, that would be beneficial because I'll be able to help somebody else that maybe be in my shoes or
Mhm.
feel how I feel or something like that.
Okay. And so, from what you're saying, it sounds like that's like a main passion of yours.
Yes.
Is to help out in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And if I may ask, like, what made that one of your passions?
I'm not sure. I've always just had a passion for helping people, even when I was young.
Okay. That's good. All right. So, school, pleasure, and sorority.
I don't have a third one. I know you're gonna ask for a third one.
No, I'm not gonna ask for a third one. But talk to me about the school, because sorority is a part of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's your plans for school if you go back?
I don't know what I want. I have a few different things I want to major in.
Okay.
Either education, counseling.
Mm-hmm.
They're all pretty much tying together one and the same to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my small goal.
Small goal.
Well, that's not a small goal. It's a big goal to get me bigger places.
Yeah. Okay. So what about? I'm gonna cross that off because I had that on there. Education, because I know you talked about it last time. So what about personal goals, like outside of school? Have you thought about how far you want to go into this new job?
Yeah, I hope to be there long term.
Okay.
And maybe 3 years, 5 years.
Mm-hmm. And
there is opportunity to advance, but right now I think I like the position that I'm in.
okay. And your position again is what exactly?
Registration.
Registration. And if you were to advance, where would that take you?
I don't know. I have to get a feel of what other departments do.
Okay.
I know for a fact I don't answer phones. I can't do that.
You can't do what?
I can't answer the phones. I looked at that call center and I was like, no thanks.
Uh-huh. So what was so difficult about the
It
call
is
center?
too fast paced.
Okay.
You got a whole TV screen with how many seconds you got to be on the phone and all that. I can't do that.
So
And I be on there talking like we've been friends forever. I've been holding everybody up.
I was going to say, so it sounds like the chaos of the phones would be too much. But no, you're saying
The
that
time frame.
you're saying that you would engage more than what you think you should be doing.
Yeah. I even do that now because somebody come in there and they'll be like something's wrong with them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do a made up scenario because of course laws against saying what's really going on.
Right.
Let's say elderly lady come in and said, I need to be seen for my knee because I tripped over my cat. And then she wants to talk about the cat and the cat's favorite movie and all that. And then I'll be sitting there listening like, oh, the cat like the same movie as me. And then before I know it, they're like, the doctor's waiting on you.
Oh.
You're sitting there talking.
Oh.
That's just a scenario.
Right,
It didn't really happen.
Is that really?
But it could happen.
Is that so much a bad thing though?
Not necessarily. I mean, from business perspective,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because they got to keep flowing.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I hold that patient there until the time they need to be there, then that holds another patient back, and that holds a whole day up.
Okay.
But it's not necessarily a bad thing to build communication and
Right.
network with people, because you just never know who you're gonna meet,
And see, that reminds me
or
of
who you need, or who needs you.
right. That reminds me of the second time we met, and you were talking about right now, the place that you were in at that time.
Mm-hmm.
That you were more to yourself, being home, being mom, going to work and whatnot. But when you talk about how you can engage with people, from what I see, you open up, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just, it's like, this is me, this is what I like to do. And so that tells me that naturally, and you tell me if I'm wrong, that's your natural persona. It's just you like to be around, you like to communicate, you like to talk, you like to be with people. Yeah.
Yeah. My sister calls me the social butterfly,
Okay.
or whatever.
So I'm gonna jump back a little bit. Being the social butterfly, being the social butterfly.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Birds have wings too. That's cool.
Birds do have wings. Being a social butterfly and having to adjust to having a kid and being more social isolated,
Mm-hmm.
right? Was that a big transition for you, or was that?
Not really, because for, I don't know, I guess for a mom, or
Mhm.
for some women,
Mhm.
it's just an automatic, everything's about my kids once you have kids.
Okay. Okay.
Well, it should be. If not, then people like you wouldn't have a job. But, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that's how it's supposed to work.
Okay.
So for me, that was just automatic. Whatever she needs is more important than going out, hanging out, partying,
Okay. All right.
extra things.
Right, and because it was your, as you said, your expectation of what you should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
But did it ever cause you like, I wish I could go out today?
Sometimes. Yeah.
Sometimes. Okay. How'd you deal with that?
I kind of just dealt with it like, okay, I can't go out, but what can I do in the house with my child to make it have fun? Or
Okay.
what can I do so she has fun? So
Okay. So what you're telling me is that even though you felt like, hey, I would like to go out, you figured out a way to counter that thought, that negative thought, and try to make the positive out of it.
right.
Right. Okay. So if I ask you to name me one positive thing, I want you to name it quickly as I say it, okay?
I'm probably thinking about
Hold up, I'm gonna tell you. If I ask you to tell me one positive thing, we're gonna do a little bit of word association, okay? So I want to say a word. You're going to give me the first positive thought you
Is
have.
that like
about
them
it.
8 blocks I gotta decide what it is?
It could be, but we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. So like, we'll do a little practice run, okay? So if I said television, your first positive thought would be
Cosby Show.
Cosby Show, right?
I don't know. That just came to my head. I don't know if it was positive. I don't know.
Okay.
That might be negative. Depends on who you ask. I don't know.
Okay, but that, you see what I'm saying, right? Okay. So I'm gonna give you a word, and you give me the first positive you can think of. Okay. You ready?
It's gonna take some time. Okay.
It's okay. Work.
People.
People. Okay. Family.
Food.
Food. Okay.
I always say that because, like, when we get together as a family, we have food. That makes everybody happy most of the time.
All right. Friends.
Fun.
Fun. Let's go back to
That was tricky. You set me up.
I set you up.
What everybody do here?
I set you up. Now, okay, you explain to me why is that tricky?
Because you're about to come up with a monkey. You're about to put a monkey wrench in this. But I'm listening.
I'm not. I was gonna say let's go back to family. Sorry, not gonna throw a monkey wrench at you. Let's go back to family.
I just said food because I know, like, for us, as my family, we do like a family dinner every so often.
Mm-hmm.
We have food, and food brings black people. I shouldn't say that, but black people together, and that usually goes well.
So
It brings them together to have something to talk about too. I don't know.
why is that
And
the
the-
positive?
We really don't like each other, but we make it work.
Okay. Okay. So when you guys come together for food And
now you said the first thing that came to my mind. That
yes,
was the first thing.
First positive thing.
Only because it just happened yesterday. Like that's what made everybody come together. We don't come together because we want to come together.
But there's nothing wrong or there's nothing right about it. That's the first thing that came to your head, and you took it as a positive, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in your mind, the food, the dinner, what does that do for your perception about your family?
It go a little deeper with that one.
Okay, what does, because you said that you guys sometimes don't get along, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's just we're siblings. That's life.
Right, siblings in life. But when you come together, you said that's the first positive thing because you come together for dinner and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that do in regards to your feelings about not liking one another because of the sibling rivalry and all of that? Does that strengthen the bond that you guys have? Like, you tell me, paint that picture for me.
I guess it makes it better. I think at this point we're all a little older, so
Mm-hmm.
we're still mean to each other, but we make fun out of it. We make it fun.
Okay. All right.
Like yesterday, I was bullying my baby brother because I wanted to, because it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But he got me back. So, and why did this happen? Because we all went together for food. We were there for family dinner. So
right. So what you're saying is it gives you the opportunity to actually have those bonding moments
mm-hmm.
with your family.
Yeah.
You feel like that maybe you don't have them as much without the dinners?
I mean, we could, but it's just makes icing on the cake.
Okay. Makes it a little bit easier for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because really, we're all like, we all don't really have, well, one of us, a couple of us do, but we all don't really have family.
Mm-hmm.
So free food, why not?
Okay. That's fine. That's fine.
All the favorite stuff. Anyway.
Friends and fun. Talk to me about that.
Because that's what friends are for.
Okay.
Who wants boring friends? Do you want boring friends? I don't want boring friends.
I don't know. Maybe I do.
Well, then again, the fun that you have with your friends might not be the fun I have with my friends. So I could be bored and you could just be having the time of your life.
That's true. So we're going to do the reversal now, okay? So let's do an example, okay?
I gotta say something here.
Okay.
I told you, I knew it.
So let's do an example. If I say television, the first negative thought in your head pops up is the news. And why is that?
Because it's never nothing good on the news.
Okay.
It's always a bomb here or something happened here.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody hates the president. I can't.
Okay.
They can just take that chance away from me.
Okay. So let's start. Let's start with friends. First negative thought. Okay.
I really don't have bad friends. I mean, if you want to say, but we already talked about that though.
Mm-hmm.
The bad part would be we didn't get to hang out a lot, but we've already discussed it. But I think that would probably be the only bad thing about having a friend.
Okay.
Because a real friend we don't really have too many issues with.
Right. So it's really more so about the ability to connect with them.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the only negative that you would see.
Yeah, because I really don't have too many problems with making friends, if that's what we're trying to get to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is all you. I'm just asking a question. Okay. First negative or concerning thoughts that you have with the word family.
I can't say that on camera. But,
okay.
I don't know. Everybody, all families have issues. I really don't know, like, concerning. Like, I don't have a burning desire to say anything bad.
Okay. I get that.
I don't think. No.
You don't think?
No.
Okay. Job. Any concerns? Any negative thoughts?
I think the only thing on a job for me that would be concerning is like not being able to please everybody.
Okay.
But it's really nothing you can do about that. All you can do is what you know how to do. Do it to the best of your ability.
How often do you worry about trying to please everybody at work?
I'm sure that's like a daily thing that I worry about.
Yeah. Does it ever hinder your job performance?
Sometimes when I feel like I don't know something or I didn't do something right. But usually I don't have a problem asking, like, did I do this right or how can I make this better?
Okay.
Most of the time, depending on how the people are, I take job constructive criticism pretty well because I can't really talk positive things, so I just keep stuff up.
Okay. I had a question. I lost it. It's okay. We'll come back to it.
I probably already answered it.
It's okay. So, when you have those thoughts, I know
This sounds like a bad thing because you're like, now you're like, we have those thoughts. I'm not gonna kill myself tonight.
Oh no. When you have those thoughts about, hey, sometimes I can't please everyone, how do you counter them? And see, it's actually a positive. I want to know what you do to battle those negative thoughts.
Brush it off, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm like, oh well, whatever. Mm-hmm. Maybe somebody else can do it.
Does that always work for you, brushing it off?
No.
What happens when you try to brush it off but you can't? What happens?
You're still stuck with that negative feeling in the back of your mind, but
Mm-hmm.
most of the time something else comes along and pushes it out your mind until you kind of like get by yourself. You're like, man, I probably messed that up. But
Okay. Yeah, I think we talked about a little bit about this during the weekend, but when you have those negative thoughts, it's good to, what people say, counter them, right? Counter with positive thoughts. So if I can't do what client A wants me to do, at the very least, I can do this, and then help it move it along. There's nothing wrong with recognizing that we can't do everything. Mm-hmm. I think sometimes people, and I can say especially for myself, if we struggle with trying not to do everything. I don't know if that's how you feel or not. Sometimes. Okay. All right. So, we're going to end today, and we will meet again later on in the week. So I want you to build on your goals. So this is what I want you to do. I'm going to ask you to pick one of the goals that you had, which was school or the job. Mm-hmm. And I want you to, as soon as my pen works, and I want you to in your mind paint a picture of how that benefits you within 5 years. So that means, so I want to tell you what's the reason for that. That's going to start having you process it and critically think where it's going to place you, okay? And what you got to do and things of that nature. It's going to start building steps for you. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with building some steps. And then we can talk about it and we can see what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and then you can tell me what you think you want to do, okay? Is that something that you are able to do?
I think so.
All right.
That doesn't sound very good.
Thank you very much.
No problem.